try again.
Take 3.
Said g'day to all your teammates now that they've all arrived?
Yes, certainly. We had a wonderful day yesterday on a catamaran, blue waters of Barbados. It's beautiful, the families out there. There's no better way to bring a group together than that. Sunset cruise, everyone's in good spirits.
How important is that? Like in a World Cup, you want that unity on and off the field, and it's a T20 World Cup. You have a lot more time as well. So to have family around, and most of you are at that stage in your life, and you have a family as well.
Yes, I think that you've put it nicely there. We're at a really nice stage in our lives, a lot of us. Everyone knows who they are, and everyone's pretty comfortable in their own skin in this team, and everyone's like pretty good friends, to be honest. So we were sort of sitting on the roof of the catamaran as we're coming back last night, and the Stoyan actually mentioned that. He goes, I don't know if many other teams would be like this, where you got all the boys just sitting on the roof, watching the sun go down, having a drink together, and just having a genuinely good time, like enjoying each other's company. And it was pretty easy to forget that you're here for a World Cup yesterday, because it was just so beautiful. But it was a great way to start. Yeah.
And with with the cricket side of it as well, like is it a break for it? Because you can get sucked into in a World Cup, just being cricket focused, right? So was there any talk of cricket at all last night, or was it just everything else?
I think naturally, because you're part of a cricket team, you always talk about cricket in most conversations. To be fair, it's always going to happen. But a lot of the boys have come off a long time in India in the IPL, maybe 48 hours at home for a couple of them, maybe a few days for the guys that have been away. So to do something like that is so refreshing. And for the guys that are already fresh, it's just a bloody great day. I think mentally, once you've done that, you go into the sessions fully focused and ready to go, because you've already enjoyed what the Caribbean has to offer. Obviously, we'll have a great time throughout the whole tournament. But what's important is rocking up to training with the right attitude, rocking up to the game day with the right attitude. But yeah, there's a lot of work that goes in beforehand to get into that space.
And speaking of being in different stages of that, with your bowling in particular, Ashton, you haven't played a lot of T20.
Yeah.
Where are you with your bowling?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I feel pretty good with the ball in hand. I think from experience now, even if you're not feeling good, you just have to find a way to make it work. And when you're feeling good, you've got to really enjoy that and make sure you keep drilling that in and be disciplined with your preparation so that lasts for as long as possible. So I feel like that's where I'm at with my bowling. If I don't feel good, well then I just do what I need to do to make it work and be effective. And if I do feel really good, I ride that wave and try and make it last as long as possible. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm at.
Was the stuff you're doing with the cones and the analysts filming you, was that part of, was there something that you didn't feel was right there? Or?
No, that's all just discipline. Making sure you're doing the basics. I think before a tournament where you're probably not going to train too much, where the matches sort of start coming thick and fast, you want to get all of your drills in. You want to make sure you're good to go and all your mechanics are working really well. So that's just a little drill that I like to do. Nailing out between that 4 to 6 metre length, getting my shoulders working in the right path, just making sure everything's running as smooth as possible. And without a batter, because it's sort of hard without that reference point, without the batsman sometimes, so you have to be really spot on. And Ronnie knows my mechanics really well too, so we just try to drill some stuff down before game one.
Yeah, so that's the technical side, like thinking about tactics, I know we're really open, windy ground here, it's not all going to be like that, but wind does can be a factor. You played some games here in the Windies where I think the solution was a big factor. How much tactical thought have you thought about
You have to do it on the run, I think, which end you're giving the ball, and obviously if you're in the wind, which side of the ground you're trying to get them to hit to, which batters, obviously with the West Indies, they're full of power hitters, so a good day looks very different there, and how you bowl looks very different. A traditional off spinner is probably not the go against those guys, getting wide, getting fast inside and under their swing, things like that, and yeah, obviously getting him hitting to the side that the wind isn't going is going to be really important. There's been a lot of weather around, so I imagine it's going to be windy every day here in Barbados. But the good thing is we won't be surprised.
Yeah. And just the possibility of like rain. You're in the wet season here.
Yeah.
Is that something that you have to train extra for, or think about differently? Maybe only bowling 2 overs in a game.
Yeah, it was actually good to play that practice game the other night against the West Indies. We had 4 ball changes in our innings. It was like soap. And that wasn't because of dew, it was just because it was a wet ground to start with. Like, it was so wet. 4 ball changes, pretty extreme. And the ball was just falling to pieces, and to try and hold the ball was a real challenge. But it was actually good to have that practice, so I've got a better idea of how I would go about it if I was using a wet ball now, particularly against some of the best hitters in the world. So, I mean, that's just no better situation to be in.
And how much do you guys know about Oman?
Well, a lot of us probably haven't seen a lot of them play before, but the good thing is all the footage there is of them, we have available to us. So it's more about when guys do their research. Some guys like doing it now, some guys will do it the day before, so it's fresh in their minds. But that's the best thing, everything is filmed now, and then whatever's filmed is going to be available to us. So I guess we'll know everything there is to know.
And are you someone who likes to go really in depth with that planning and that strategy? Or?
Not too deep.
Yeah.
Not too deep. I think I've got to try and focus more on my own skill as a first point of call, and bowl on skill, with a plan in the back of your mind. Some guys you have to be way more specific because they have some extreme strengths, but really you want to double down on your own skill.
Is it different when you're watching footage when it comes to T20 cricket as say Test cricket? You can plan more because it could just be that one innings where that guy was good or had a good day as well, right?
Definitely. I like wickets, seeing how they get out, seeing where they hit their sixes, and then also seeing their first sort of 10 balls. That's what I quite like to see of each batter, and that's pretty much it. I think that's as in depth as you need to go. Like I said before, there's some guys that are outliers that you really need to get pretty funky with. The hard part now is that guys are just getting so good at hitting sixes, and they have a lot of range in their areas. So it's working out how to get outside of their swing or inside of their swing and which one works.
Just on the pitches here, Ashton, I was just looking at some numbers. He hates that. And the numbers say that in the Caribbean, CPL and everything else, the spinners do play a bigger role, especially going to play some day matches, some night matches. How different is it bowling on a pitch? It does give you a turn in T20.
It's great. It certainly brings you into the game a bit more. It's just harder for the batter to line up balls, I think, particularly when it's spinning away. When it's spinning in, you probably get him hitting to one side of the ground a bit more as well. It's simply you're just harder to line up, and you probably don't have to do as much as a spinner. I think when the wicket's flat as a spinner, you actually have to be a little bit more tactically aware. You got to be smart. You got to try and be one step ahead of the batter. When the ball is spinning, that 5-6 meter length, hitting that length where they can't hit it back over your head, and the ball's turning. That's as hard as it gets for a batter. So the guys that do really well on those wickets are the ones that hit that spot the most, I would say.
Just a final one for me, just on Cameron Green. I mean, you've played quite a bit of cricket with him. Just his power hitting, seeing him today, he's in it everywhere here. And the latter half of the IPL, where do you think his batting is right now, and what have you made of him?
Yeah, I just think he's developing all the time, Greeny. I think he's getting better at transitioning throughout the formats as well. He's maturing as a guy. He's still a young guy. And there was a lot of pressure on him from a young age because he did so well straight away. So what I'm just seeing is evolution. I think that's all you want to see. He learns pretty quickly, and you can see that what he learns he really puts into practice. He's probably been batting for an hour and a half now. It's pretty hot and humid out here, but he works really hard, so it's no surprise that he's getting better. The other thing that was really good to see in the IPL was sort of him batting through the middle a bit and finishing a couple of innings, batting up the top, doing the job there, and bowling really well. So hard to do, particularly on that stage. So yeah, the evolution of him is good. It's happening, right now at the right time.
And what did you make of the opening game last night?
I only saw some of the highlights, and I saw it was 190, play 190. I saw one of the guys from the US get 94 not out, I think. Great opening game. US Canada, to have a game like that, it's a hell of a start to the tournament. I'm pumped for those guys. I think they would have loved it. I think it's good for world cricket. Certainly, makes the game a bit bigger. You have those teams who you don't see much of putting on a show like that. It's just great for the game, great for the growth of the game.
Sweet.
That's great.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys.